Hello. Just gonna wait for people to come back on. Hi again. Sorry about that. I froze. Mask. Yay. Yep. Wireless connections are not always reliable, especially when you're in your house. After I typed in my blog URL, it decided to freeze for some reason. Nick, is Bella still up?
No, she's out.
Okay. It happens. I mean, if it wasn't that, it was going to be something else. But if you ever need it, it's on the Facebook page, on the button Learn More. I don't write in it all the time. As you can imagine, having 7 kids does take a lot of time. So does the school have a time frame for signing consent? No, but you should keep on them all the time. No, I didn't. What about the separation anxiety? Always keep on them about testing. Don't let them, because they will try to let it slip through the cracks because they've got so many kids. I personally don't trust the public schools, but that's just me. Hi, Ralph. What did you say about the separation anxiety? Actually, I adopted Ralph as a puppy, and I'm actually a certified veterinary technician. And he was my training project in college. So he was very easily trained. He's mixed with German Shepherd and Pit Bull, which are 2 working breeds. And he started licking, and I just encouraged it. So that comes now to when a child is having a rough time, Ralph come, Ralph lick, and that's it. He's very good at what he does. He's a little too good. If you were to actually get a service dog, I heard they are really, really expensive, but there are some organizations that will help you pay for one. Ralph, do you like your job? Oh, you tired? You work too hard? And the only thing, when you get a service dog, the only thing you need to show is the ID, and it is illegal for someone to ask you why you have a service dog. And the only reason they're allowed to ask you to leave if the dog is being a distraction, but if the dog is well trained, they won't be a distraction, and they won't be any... No, it is in Lantana, Florida, Palm Beach School for Autism. I'm not sure. The Center for Autism in Gainesville, Florida. Let me look that up. I've never personally been to Gainesville. Is it the Florida Autism Center that you're thinking of? They are talking about plays. They're putting her in special ed alone for that? Maybe doing that. Putin sped? What do you mean by that? No, it looks like it's different. They base the Florida Autism Center, it looks like they base their curriculum on ABA. And I said that before, that I don't advocate for ABA. I don't redirect obsessive and restrictive interests. It's what grounds them. In order to put a child in special ed, they have to do certain evaluations. Yeah, I'm looking at their website now, and their main focus is ABA, and I just don't agree with it. Yeah, going through therapy in school and medically is a very good idea. Danny is my 3-year-old who is very far behind in speech. He has no other issues. He does speech in the Child Find program, which is preschool speech, and he does it over at the therapy center. Redirected if he does it a little too much, I guess try to wean it down a little bit, but don't take it away. I guess lessening it. If you request, they can work on social skills in speech. Oh boy, good luck with that. If this one interest gets in the way of making friends, try to have him curb it, but not completely give it up. There is a time and place for everything. So if he needs to interact with somebody and he's not, saying you can play with this later, but right now we're doing this.
Yeah, someone else.
They don't do that in speech. Um, when Jaden goes for summer speech, it's through the public schools, and they do work on social skills in speech. You might have to request that. I'm sure she'll catch up. Play therapy and art therapy, also music therapy, is very good. We have a play therapist who goes to Jaden's school to work with him. Mm-hmm. Surgery is always hard. Bella has had 6. She's going to be having her 7th soon. Just for a little background, Bella was born with a cleft lip and palate.
You guys better get in somewhere for the night. I just heard.
Yes. In my area, there is a place called Multilingual, and they call it psychotherapy, but at that young age, they do therapy through play. Medicaid in my area does cover it. If Medicaid covers it, I'm sure all insurances do. One of Bella's nostrils is really small, and it's making it difficult for her to breathe. We were hoping to put off surgery until she was 17. But if she says her nose needs to be fixed, and the surgeon left it up to her. Mm-hmm. The doctor can only do what he can do in a certain amount of time, keeping her under anesthesia. Last time she was under anesthesia for 5.5 hours while they revised the nose and did a bone graft at the same time while removing her ear tubes. Right. Redirect little by little, and eventually he will get the message. She's 8. This one will just be a nose revision, so hopefully this is the last one before she has to have her jaw surgery when she's 17. She had her surgeries late because when we got her out of foster care at 3 months old, she was 1 pound over birth weight. So we had to get her to the proper weight before she could be strong enough for surgery. So all of them have been a little late. One funny story, when she was going for her last surgery, she told the surgeon that the nurses were stealing her blood. She meets with the surgeon in a couple of weeks, and we'll discuss it when we meet with him. Try to find common interests. Um, a lot of times they probably won't do things together, but sometimes they will. Just kind of try to find common interests and try to get them to do it at the same time. And sometimes a typical child will be unsure of how to interact with a child on the spectrum. That happens a lot. Yeah, Bella's definitely got a really good sense of humor. Dr. Perlin, they stole my blood. We're very lucky they have an outpatient center here where we don't have to go to Miami every time we need to see the surgeon. We explain to other children that he sees the world in a different way, and some interaction is more difficult for him, and to be patient. That explain like Macintosh OS and Windows OS are different, but they both run on computers. Like, the OS would be the brain. See, your typical son is running on Windows, but your autistic son is running on Macintosh. They run differently, but they're not broken. They just run differently. Tell him that his brain is wired a little differently. I joke around that we use Apple computers in our house when none of us is neurotypical here. We just compare it to the different operating systems. And with almost all the kids being on the computers now, it's very easy for them to understand. It took a little while for my 8-year-old son to get it. He's has ADHD. He's not autistic, and he gets it after a while, and he's very protective over his brothers. I know there are kids whose parents don't teach them that it's okay to be different, and it's very hard. There's this one older kid in our Cub Scout pack that does make fun of Jaden for wearing his ear defenders, but the Cub Master does not put up with it. He's known my boys since they were toddlers, since my 8-year-old was a Tiger Scout. And what I tell my kids when other kids are mean is that their parents didn't teach them the right thing. Didn't teach them it's okay to be different. And we don't pick on someone because they do things differently than we do. It's just not nice. And I just hope one day there will be more acceptance. We have awareness, we just need acceptance, people to accept us for what we do. That's true. But there are also times where I take my kids out and they're talking to their children, and the parents will say, "Get your weird kid away from mine." Your son is not broken, he is just different. He is not broken, and it did take me a long time for self-acceptance. He will get there. Okay. This is an ear defender. When something gets too loud, I put it on, and it blocks out a lot of the sound. Almost all of my kids have a pair. I don't believe autistic kids are broken. They're just different. I know. It is difficult for kids to understand, but sometimes kids understand more than we give them credit for. For a while, Jaden didn't either when I wound up covering his ears to block out the sound. What helped, I had Jaden pick out his ear defenders. I think they should. That way they would understand. When Jaden first went to his mainstream school, the counselor did hold sensitivity training with his class so he would be more accepted, and all the kids were wonderful to him in his first year there. I bought it on Amazon. You just do a search for ear defenders. I don't even remember what brand this one is, but it was harder to find adult ones. Jaden, where are your ear defenders? I think the one we have for Jaden and Bella are called Snug. My pleasure. miss anything? As for the assemblies at school, I think they should have acceptance, just not about autistic children, just accepting everybody for who they are. I mean, my kids go to a mixed school. We're Jewish, so they have a mixed school with Jamaican kids, kids from Haiti, Hispanic. I mean, it's a melting pot there. And they just, a lot of the different groups, they tend to keep to themselves. So if they had, I guess, sensitivity training for kids to accept other people for who they are, no matter what their difference is, there should be a lot less bullying. Any other questions? All right, so I guess I will end for tonight, and if you guys want another session like this, just let me know and I'll schedule another one. I can do one once a month if you would like. I'm glad I could help. Also, on my blog, I have a page for information. I'm designing pamphlets to help people. I have echolalia and stimming on there right now. So I'm also going to be creating cards to give out that you can print at home and things like that. Yes. And we're very lucky to belong to a shul that is very accepting of our kids. My pleasure. I'll schedule one next month then. I'm not much of a drinker, but that would be nice. All right, have a great night, everyone.